Greetings, Wine Vault friends. Chris here with everybody's favorite bartender, Marek. And we're taking you back in the kitchen today to show you how we make our famous cherries that are a great ingredient for the Manhattans and also for the French 75s. We started making our first batch about 5 years ago, and these are like very similar to the Luxardo cherries from France. Every time you make a cocktail that requires a cherry, the last thing you want to do is use a maraschino cherry with all the red food number 5 dyes and all that kind of stuff in. These are the real deal. And when we first started making these 5 years ago, we didn't have our base, and so we started off with some Luxardo amaretto and some cognac, and we put the cherries in it, but it just wasn't sweet enough. So we did add a little bit of sugar on the first year and just marinated the cherries in it for a year and used those in our cocktails. Subsequently, what we did in following years is we always made a little extra marinade, and at the end of the year it took on the wonderful cherry flavor after having cherries marinating in them for over a year. And so for the second year we used part of the first year's marinade and then added more Luxardo, amaretto, and cognac to it, but this time we didn't need to add any sugar because there was so much of the natural cherry juice going on. And so for the last 4 years we've been making this same marinade, except that we have never had to add sugar to it. So Marek is going to kind of show you the process. Obviously we start with cherries, and then I'll kind of show you the process of how the marinade works. So take it away, Marek.
Alright, so here we have some cherries. We pretty much go through every one of them, pick the green stuff, make sure that they're all beautiful and nice. We'll get them all washed. And from here, we can actually come to the next station where we already have them washed and cleaned. And they're all going to get pitted. So since we're doing about 700 cherries a time, we have a little pitting machine, which is really nice and helpful. And you just put the cherry right in there, get the pit out, and put the cherry. This is a little long process, but we want to ensure that we're just doing all the good cherries, all the pits are out, and everything is to nice standards.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how we make the marinade. We have the Luxardo amaretto and we have cognac, but the super special ingredient is the previous year's marinade. And this marinade right now, we're going on our 5th year. So the marinade in this jar right here is literally 4 years old. It has some of the first marinade from year 1, some of the first marinade from year 2, year 3, and year 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to blend these all together, and that's the base. But when you do that, the liquid itself is not thick enough, it's not syrupy enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook down half of the amount right here. So you see I'm adding last year's Solera, and then I'm adding some Luxardo in here, and we're just going to cook this down at a low temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes. Here is the cognac is going in and the rest of the Luxardo. So we'll just bring this to a low simmer here, and then we'll cook it until it's reduced. Right now the level is like right about here, so we'll reduce it so it's about half that. And so this will turn into a beautiful, rich, thick syrup, and then we'll take this syrup and then we'll mix it with these exact same non-reduced ingredients right here, which is the base that the cherries will be marinating in. And then when we sell them to you, that will be the base that you'll be getting, which is amazing, especially like in either the Manhattans or in the French 75. Just make sure that you just take a couple drops of that liquid, and I'll show you that in a second, and put that to your drink, and it will definitely take it to the next level.
Well, now that we have all the cherries clean and ready to go, and Chris already made the liquid for us, we're actually, our next step is putting these cherries in this cryovac bags. We put about 40-50 cherries in there, but really little liquid, because what we're trying to do is take the air out, compress it in, and infuse the cherries with all the liquors, all the goodness in the bag. This is in here for about 2-3 days.
Right, and the cryovac machine that we have is very much of an industrial machine. You've all seen the late night TV commercials about the little vacuum packing machines. This is like a $1,000 machine, and basically what it does, it sucks all of the air out from the inside, and so there's just a small amount of the marinade in here, but it's not the reduced marinade. This is the straight alcohol marinade. So basically what happens is the cherries are just forced to absorb all of that wonderful amaretto and cognac flavor into them, and we just let them sit there for 2-3 days. And then after that,
we open the bag, we put the cherries in these big jars, and we fill it up with the reduced liquid that Chris showed us how to make just a little bit ago. And then these cherries are sitting in these jars until we fill them.
and so when we get orders for them, we just fill these 7-ounce jars with them, and then we top it off with the juice right here. And they are ready for your next cocktail. Once they're packaged in here and you take them home in the refrigerator, these will last pretty much indefinitely, years and years. In fact, some would argue that they would actually get better because the fruit just continues to absorb all of the alcohol. And then this little liquid in here too, that's the part I was talking about before. Make sure that you leave a couple drops into your cocktail, because it will definitely take it to the next level. So with any luck, we should have these available this week. In fact, we will have them available this week. So we're going to be selling these for $15 for the 7-ounce jar with all the liquid, which is a slamming deal. And if you get the Manhattan, make sure you get one of these, or if you get the French 75 kit, make sure you get these. They're wonderful, even just drizzled over vanilla ice cream or vanilla gelato, whatever you want. So anyway, thanks. Hope you guys enjoyed this little cherry education video here, and we'll see you next time.